All right, let's get right into it. For as long as most of us can remember, the dream for so many bright students in India pointed in one direction, the United States. But right now, in 2025, that map is being totally redrawn. We're seeing this huge, fascinating shift in where students are choosing to build their futures. And it's a story that's all about numbers, policy, and just, well, practicality. And this quote right here, it just says it all. That dream, that long-held idea, is bumping up against a brand new reality. That powerful pull the US has always had is getting weaker, and students are looking at new horizons. So the big question is, where are they going? And more importantly, why? And the answer, which might surprise a lot of you, is Germany. Yep, this European powerhouse is kind of quietly becoming the new #1 choice for a whole new generation of Indian talent. Let's just start with this number, nearly 50,000. That's how many Indian students were studying in German universities in the last winter's semester. And look, that's not just some statistic on a page. It's a massive statement. It represents tens of thousands of individual choices to pick Berlin over Boston or Munich over Michigan. And this isn't some slow, gradual change. We're talking about a 15% jump in a single year. When you see growth that fast, you know a powerful trend is taking hold. And believe me, it is picking up speed. All of this has led to a pretty historic moment. For the very first time, India is now the single biggest source of international students in Germany. They've actually overtaken China. Now, that is a fundamental shift in the whole landscape of global education. It's a huge deal. So you have to ask, right? What is going on here? What is Germany's secret sauce? What's the magnetic appeal that's drawing in Indian students and their families like never before? Well, it really boils down to a few key things. First, and this is the big one, the money. The economics are just undeniable. Public universities there have virtually no tuition fees, just a small semester fee. But it's not just about the cost. Germany is offering these amazing, high-demand courses in things like AI and engineering, all taught in English. And they're often designed hand-in-hand with industry giants. And maybe the most important piece of the puzzle is that Germany offers a clear, predictable future. Once you graduate, you get an 18-month visa just to find a job. And from there, the pathway to getting an EU blue card and even permanent residency is super transparent. It's a system built on clarity, no guessing games. Okay, so now let's flip the coin and look at the other side of this whole story. Because while Germany's star is on the rise, the trend lines for the United States, well, they tell a very, very different and frankly, pretty alarming story. Just look at this number. It's staggering. A 44% drop in F1 student visas for Indian students in the first half of fiscal year 2025. A drop that steep isn't just a dip, it's a massive flashing red light for the US education system. And don't think this was just a one-off bad quarter. It's been a consistent downward spiral all through 2025. You see a 27% drop in the spring, then it gets worse with a 46% drop in arrivals in July. The pattern here is impossible to ignore, and it's all pointing in one direction. Now, this has huge real-world consequences. We're not just talking about empty seats in a classroom. We're talking about a potential loss of almost $7 billion in spending for the U.S. economy. We're talking about over 60,000 jobs being at risk, everyone from university staff to the folks who own the local coffee shops. So, when you boil this whole thing down, the story is really about one core idea. It's a head-to-head battle between a system that offers predictability and one that is becoming more and more defined by uncertainty. Let's just break it down. Think about it from a family's point of view. On one side, you've got Germany, with its super affordable fees and a clear, transparent process. On the other side, you've got the US. It's a massive investment up front. You've got visa interviews taking over 100 days, and the path after you study feels more and more like a total gamble. For families weighing these options, that contrast is everything. And these aren't just abstract what-ifs. These are specific, real-world horror stories that students are hearing in 2025. We're talking about being denied entry at the airport after you've already landed, having your visa pulled in the middle of your degree, and even employers getting nervous about hiring students on post-study work permits. It's turning what was once a dream into a really high-risk bet. So when you cut through all the noise, it really comes down to the two simple questions that every single family is asking themselves. One, where can we afford to send our kid? And two, where will they have a secure, real chance at a future after they graduate? These are the questions that are literally redrawing the global education map. So what does all this mean for the big picture? Well, we are witnessing in real time the rise of a new global classroom where all the old assumptions, all the old rules just don't apply anymore. At the end of the day, families are making smart, logical, data-driven decisions. And when you put the two options side by side and look at the scorecard, cost, visa, career path, Germany is just winning on the practical stuff. It's becoming the practical choice, while the US is becoming the high-risk, high-prestige choice. The whole equation for making this decision has completely changed. It's not so much about the historic name of Harvard versus Heidelberg anymore. It's about a much simpler, more pragmatic question. Which path offers the best and safest return on our investment? Look, this doesn't mean the American dream is dead. It's not. But it does mean that for a huge and growing number of talented Indian students in 2025, the German option just seems more reliable, more affordable, and, well, more achievable. And that really leaves us with one final big thought. This isn't just a story about India or Germany or the US. This is about the global competition for talent. And as this new map continues to take shape, you have to wonder, who will adapt best? Which countries will offer the clarity, the affordability, and the welcoming path forward that will win the race for the future?